From Highway 61 to the proposed 526 expansion, I sit down exclusively with State Senator Sandy Senn, District 41, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and download my free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Sandy Senn, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
It's about time. What is up? I've missed you.
I'm right here. I know that you have been extremely busy, from the Bahamas over to West Ashley.
Right, working hard for the Bahamas. It's just has been terrible, and of course trying to work on my own district as well. So yeah, I have a law firm job, a Senate job, and helping friends in the Bahamas job right now.
Wow. How's the donations going for the Bahamas?
Fantastic. I mean, everybody wants to help, and even if it's just a matter of helping us load stuff onto an airplane or into a U-Haul, if they can only afford physical labor, they do that. I've had somebody gave $8.50, and one other girl said she could give $20 and will give $20 more her next paycheck. So those are the kind of things that just warm your heart. And then, of course, a lot of people have given a lot more. Sure. And because I know the area, we are giving everything 100% right where it needs to go.
Right where it's go. Mm-hmm. Where do we go next with the Bahamas?
Well, actually, I believe that it's going to become better. Everybody I know thinks, oh my gosh, it was so awful. And it was. It was 10 times what Hugo was as far as destruction. So many lives lost. And I don't know why the Bahamian government is trying to make it seem as though there were so few deaths. That's just not true. From the boots on the ground, even from Representative Herb Kurzman, who flew over and saw what he thought was palm trees in the water. It turned out to be dead bodies floating in the water. So, I mean, I know for a fact they took away a friend of mine's mother and never did add up the death count after they took her away and put her in the refrigeration area that they have for these poor souls. So, but I really believe that so many people love the Bahamas. There's a great, really kind of a kinship with the folks here, and I think you're going to see it rise again. I really do.
Indeed. Let me turn over to your district. You said this on your Facebook page, quote, I have a keen desire and interest in protecting scenic Highway 61. Why now?
Well, no, it's not a why now, it's always. But right now we do know that DOT is going in there for a widening project. The county has already done its portion, Charleston County. Dorchester County side of that road is very, very deadly. The county does not have the funds to do anything with its side, and so this is a DOT project and a DOT road. So with that said, that means DOT controls a lot of the decisions. A lot of people don't realize this didn't just pop up. I've been working on it for almost a year now. I have met with Christy Hall, with her engineers, of course with Middleton Plantation, at Middleton Plantation. Right. Everyone has been gracious with time. The department did greatly amend their plans. In fact, it went down from like 208 trees to 58 trees, of which 28 of those are oaks. I don't know how many are grand oaks yet or how many are diseased, but I do know that a lot of the 58, you're talking pines and gum trees. Right. So we're getting a lot closer. Do I think that we can do better? Yeah, I do. So I'm pressing the secretary to give it another shot with her engineers, to do the best to make sure that canopy's there, yet at the same time protect the scenic nature while providing relief from potential accidents. So I think that we can do this. I really do.
Now, you also said this and just mentioned this on your Facebook page, and right here, you said many of the trees being argued over right now are pines and gums. How many are they talking right there?
Well, like I said, out of the 58, only 28 are oaks. So the rest of those are going to be trees that can be grown easier, or they're not the ones that I'm willing to say, okay, I'm not going to fight over that kind of stuff, because we're talking about lives being lost there. So I think everybody, even the folks at Middleton, their employees travel that road every day. The CEO of Middleton actually held the head of a motorcycle driver who had gotten in a terrible accident, and everybody recognizes that it's a bad road. It needs to be fixed as far as safety. A lot of people say, oh, just put patrols out there, but that doesn't work, just to put some patrols out there. It won't work long term. And so the fact is, we have funding now, so we do want to get that road in better shape, but we've got to give it another go at keeping more of those 28 oaks.
funding? How much more are we talking money?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Sandy.
I really don't. That was a DOT earmark, so it's paid for out of the gas tax money. And so there are going to be a lot of regulations that kind of go along with that. So I don't really know what the overall project is. We have so many projects going on, Quintin.
Yeah. Now you talk about those regulations. What are they?
Well, because a lot of times when you're getting match money, for instance, from the federal government, they are going to want to see more stringent guidelines. Like they want to see nice, wide places to pull over. A friend of mine was telling me how dangerous it was when he accidentally ran over a piece of shrapnel or something in the road, and it tore up his car. He didn't have anywhere to pull over. So they definitely want to see, widening of areas for people to pull over safely, plus nice, wide medians so people can pull out safely. But what that does is now you're getting into the canopy. So they've already made a lot of exceptions for the area down near the plantation. I think they're going to make some more exceptions. So there's still work to be done, but I don't think the overall character of that road is going to change. But I do think it's going to be a safety issue, and not everybody's going to be 100% in agreement. There's no way when you widen the road, everybody is in 100% agreement. So my job is trying to bring them together as best as possible.
Now, what is the character of that highway in your mind?
Oh my gosh, it's just beautiful. To me, when I go down that road, I just want to roll down the window. To me, I naturally want to slow down.
Right.
But I can't tell you, especially going out there for these meetings, crazy people flying around, solid yellow lines. And the problem with saying, well, you could just give them tickets. I mean, those people that are driving like that, they're probably not just going to take themselves out. They're going to take other people out. And it's just another reason we need to get a handle on it, yet still be able to get there and go, I love this place,
Yeah. Let me get back to that DOT earmark. How much is that in total in your mind?
You keep asking me that. That's the same question. I would have to go and look. Seriously, Quintin, we have so many different roadway projects that I don't have them all in my mind. You can Google it right there. You got it?
No, you're the state senator.
I am a state senator, and one of the things we do.
You tell me.
One of the things we do is work with DOT, and we have a very capable secretary, and she has a budget. So she's working obviously within her budget, but I don't know what each and every road project costs.
Well, how many earmarks were coming to Charleston County?
We actually, when you get gas tax, you're going to have more rural road funding, because I think I've told you this before.
I know.
There are only 11 senators that represent populated areas. Okay, so we are what we call the donor counties. We bring in the lion's share of the money, and a lot of that goes around to the rural areas. We will get outvoted every single time on stuff because there are a lot more rural senators. So if you're asking me, do these rural areas get more money? Yes, but actually right in that area, that's a good candidate for those type of funds as well. Plus it's a deadly road, which was the number one priority of the secretary.
Now that gas tax, was that vote a good one in your mind?
It was. I will tell you, until I found out that we were not going to be able to really get our money back, because a lot of us got hoodooed on that as well. One of the things that sort of pushed me over was we were going to bring more C-Fund money to the donor counties, and we're the donor county.
Okay.
So once I was able to get that accomplished, that's one of the things I really wanted, because I saw that it was inequitable. But then also we were told and led to believe that we would be able to, on our taxes, apply to get our gas tax money back for up to 2 cars, and also repairs. And I believe that, and it comes to find out that it costs your accountant more to pay for that money, and I don't think it was ever really truly. I definitely know it wasn't told to us that, we're going to sell this to the public and everybody will be okay with it. I thought I was going to get my own tax deduction, not that it's that much. But one of the good things is the tax deduction, you're talking about $23 or $24.
Right.
So that tells you right there it's not huge to a lot of people as far as the tax go. I understand to some people it is, but it's not that much when you're talking about getting all of the roadway projects we have handled. But if you were to ask me what would I change, I would say I would definitely change this whole notion that everybody's going to be able to get this tax break by turning in a form when they knew or should have known that it was not going to be worth it in the long run for people to do that. At least, though, I have verified that DOT is going to get that money. It's not going to go any other direction. So the money that was supposedly, I think it was $38 million, supposedly going to go back to taxpayers when they filled out this form.
How much was going to go back to your district, District 41?
I don't know. Doing this overall state thing, so no, I wouldn't know those kind of details.
You're the state senator now.
I am the state senator, but yeah.
Come on, Sandy.
Quintin, that's like asking you, you're in the restaurant business, right?
I'm all over.
Yeah.
And I do my research too.
Yeah. There are a lot of questions that I'm sure you could get stumped on.
No, there's no stump. I'm just asking simple questions that the state senator is supposed to know.
No, I don't think I'm supposed to know those kind of. That would be if I were supposed to know that, Quintin. That would be like being such a serious micromanager that I would never get anything accomplished, and nobody would even want to work with me.
What would you have you accomplish in District 41?
Well, number one, I think that I can take a little bit of pride in saying that I helped with 526. I think I can take a lot of pride in saying that the flood task force is going phenomenally. And that was a simple concept that not only have we fixed so many neighborhoods just by getting all the different governmental entities to come together, that has helped so many neighborhoods. And now we're going to take it even further. It's going to be simple street fixes so that people can call in and say, we think the traffic light needs adjusting. We got a pothole that just formed here. These are the kind of things that we can get fixed. Quintin, I've been doing this for 3 years.
I know. I interviewed you when you first started.
Yeah, so if you can tell me something bad I have done for the citizenry, please do. But otherwise, I'm telling you that daily, I work for my district.
Let me ask you this. How many traffic fixes when it comes to traffic? How many lights are you trying to get fixed in District 41?
Well, any light that is out of sync obviously needs to be fixed. But when I was talking about that would be like a citizen call-in, a citizen initiative to say, you know what, for some reason light's never turning, or this light is turning and blocking up traffic and there's no cars even going through the other direction. Those are the kind of little things that would make a difference in people's everyday travel. Same if you come across a hazard in the roadway and you need to get it out. I live on Johns Island now. And there was an old man's walker on the bridge going over there. And I'm like, that's a hazard. So there are people that need to be called, maintenance issues. We're supposed to get maintenance of our not our sidewalks, our ditches and our grass mowing at least 4 times a year. And a lot of times the grass is covering the stop sign. So if that kind of stuff happens, then it's going to be a citizen initiative. I'm not everywhere in 41. I'm supposed to be representing Quintin, 106,000 people. I'm currently representing, the last time I checked, 129,000 people. Now it's going to be well over that. So my geographic area is huge. It's not like a city council member district, something like that. It is huge. It goes through 2 counties, and I need people to tell me what they need. And when they tell me, I fix it if it's within my power.
Let me get you to 526. Obviously, the governor says that's going to go on. And Ellie, somebody I believe said that they have money from the half-cent sales tax, if I'm not correct. Is that correct?
I believe that they changed different directions on exactly where they can get the money. But they have proven unequivocally that they have lots of money to be able to do it. So the CIB finally accepted that. They had no other choice. The county does have the money. They have a number of different sources. From what I heard, they don't really want to have to even bond it.
Okay.
So they think that they can do it without bonding, which if they can, great. That's sort of like not having to borrow money. So the county has said they've got its share. The state is now going to move forward with its share. So
now, if they were to bond, where are they going to bond from? What resources in your mind?
I am not on county council, but I'm sure it would be from likely what they know is known revenue that's going to come in.
What's that known revenue right now?
Well, obviously, you had the old half-cent tax, you have a current half-cent tax, you have different forms of revenue for them. But I'm not, just like I don't know every little thing about Christy Hall's budget with DOT. I definitely don't know everything about the county's budget. I know what they've said in my presence and the different meetings that were televised, so you probably watched them.
Let me ask you this. How can council say that they're going to use a half-cent sales tax, transportation tax money when during 4 discussions in county council, it was specifically excluded from the referendum, and that's what voters understood?
I think that's a question better asked of the county council members.
Have you ever actually sat down and talked to him about that?
No, that's their job. My job was to make sure the state funding came through, and I did that. I helped with that.
How much is that from funding for the average person?
420 from the average person. I have no idea, but it's 400.
No, I mean the average person watching this.
Oh, I have no idea, Quintin. You would have to tell me. Is Dana Beach writing these questions for you?
Oh, God.
Careful, Quintin.
This is Quintin's close-up, so I get to ask the questions. Okay. Now let me ask you this. Now this is funny. How much is the project going to actually cost?
That is going to be up for debate as well. I think the estimates were super, super high. I think you're going to find it coming in lower, is what I think. So,
how low is that going to be?
Well, Quintin, again, that we would have to bid everything out, which that hasn't been done yet. Right now, we're still going through acquisition phases. Still going through getting property and in the permitting phases.
How much how much do you have left with the projects and all that other stuff?
We still need to build the last two phases, and I think the estimate came in at 700 million, upper 700 millions. But I think that you're going to see that that's going to end up being revised, hopefully being revised downward. We believe that was an overestimate.
How do we get to the overestimate?
Again, I'm not the person that does the estimation. That would be the experts. That I guess whatever asphalt's going to cost at that time,
right.
That can vary. Land acquisition costs might come in higher than expected. There would be a lot of variables.
Now, how much was the land acquisition costs back 4 years ago?
The county had already expended its $118 million.
Okay.
So it had already done its land acquisition. It was the state that I think needed to finish ponying up its money, and now that's moving forward. Whenever the county puts in, then the state puts in. So now we're on a system. County puts in $3 million, state puts in $3 million. We move this project a little further along.
Now, how much would this project cost in, say, 5 years? Because it's going to take, like you mentioned, all of these acquisitions and whatnot.
It would still be the same variable. It would be how much asphalt costs at that point in time, how much manpower we have at that point in time, whether we have better equipment to do things. Things that they engineer changes all the time. So whether I would assume generally when you're moving forward in the future, it's going to cost more. Things don't always cost less unless you're talking about within a 5-year span where things like maybe the asphalt cost would matter, and that would be dependent on fuel cost. See?
And I know. And how much manpower do we have now?
Quintin, as far as you're asking me how much manpower we have in
for the 526 project.
Yeah, well, that is not even going out to bid as of yet.
Okay.
So we wouldn't know. We're still getting the permits and still getting the acquisitions, and then also doing the engineering and the planning.
Now,
which I guess you saw there are going to be 4 upcoming public meetings for people to weigh in.
Now, how many permits do you all have left to obtain in your mind?
I know we still have some of the federal stuff to go forward, and once that is obtained, then I believe the lawsuits will follow. And then we have already passed a law several years ago, my first year in office, that would basically curtail the suits, and that those suits would have to jump to the top of the judge's roster for determination, so that the folks that are going to sue to try and stop the project would have to already legitimately have reasons for it to be stopped. And I think that's going to make the lawsuits go from, say, 3 years to 1 year.
Do they have any reasons now?
Not any legitimate ones.
Okay. And we get along very well.
We really do. He just doesn't like 526. I do. He's a man that doesn't have a car. I do.
I have nothing to do with this. I'm very unbiased. I have nothing to do with 526. I'm just asking tough questions. I love asking tough questions. That's what I do.
Well, go right ahead.
Okay.
You and I've had the 526 discussion.
We've had it plenty of times. You can go back and look at it on camera on YouTube. It's all right there.
Right. I've been consistent on that. I ran on it.
I know you did. I interviewed you.
When I was elected, it wasn't a surprise that I was going to be pushing forward. It may have surprised people that I pushed as hard as I did. I definitely rattled some cages. I definitely wrote the right letters. I definitely called the right people. But that's what I was elected to do.
What would you push for harder when it comes to District 41 if you were to be reelected?
Certain things I would like to see. I'd like, as far as what I could control, and that has to do with, mainly I'm a state official. A lot of people think that we're all interchangeable. Like I can't deal with county laws, or I can't deal with city laws. But I would like to see DHEC and OCRM work together better on granting us permits to clean our outfalls for existing maintenance. I think that would help flooding tremendously. Right now we have to jump through a bunch of red tape and hoops, and we thought we had things going more smoothly to something that would work out. So far it hasn't happened. So I would like to see, with existing maintenance, with existing infrastructure, we should be able to go in there and clean that out without permission from the state and federal government, if it's existing stuff. Now, yes, if we're trying to put in a new outfall or do something different, then sure, that needs to be permitted. So I think it would make a huge difference with respect to flooding. Also, I'd like to see a piece of equipment purchased that I know would be less harmful to the environment. And like right now, what they do is they flip mats, and then they run the track hoe or whatever over it, and they flip another mat and they go. There is some new equipment that is less harmful to the environment, still allows to clean out, and I think it would be more acceptable to DHEC and OCRM for us to use that equipment. We have an easier time cleaning the outfalls, but we have to get the money for that.
Where is this money coming from?
It's going to come from the taxpayer.
How much will it cost the taxpayer?
And that depends on the piece of equipment, but the one that I'm looking at that I like a lot is about $500,000. The state government has already appropriated $4 million for outfall cleanout. I want to get a piece of that, if possible at all, for Charleston to use that piece of equipment so that we could clean out our, and that was for the entire coast, had a $4 million budget. So I'm going to work hard to try and get that piece of equipment.
What's the name of that equipment and all that?
You know, I knew you were going to ask me that, but it's something catchy. It's like slippity slide, muckety. I mean, it is something, every time I tell Jim Neal with the county that, I say, what's that thing called again? And he laughs, but it's something like slippity muck.
Okay, so you're all going to Columbia back in January, so it's really October to be honest with you. So you have 3 months left. Are there any issues that you're looking at saying, hey, I need to pre-file this bill right now?
Not pre-file. Most of my stuff I am, this was a 2-year term, so we're in the middle of the term. I am busy pushing through what I pre-filed last year, and one of my big things is dealing with school safety. And I filed a bill last year before anybody ever heard of a red flag law that would basically make it illegal to threaten any public gathering space. Currently it's illegal to threaten a person. Like I can't say I'm going to kill this person, But right now I could say, you know what, I am going to shoot up the cathedral, and that's not illegal. It should be. So what I am trying to do is make it so that internet threats alone are illegal, so that the officers can then take you in, check your computer systems out. You have to undergo a mental health evaluation as a condition of bond to see whether this was just somebody popping off behind a keyboard or if somebody really was having these ideations. And I think you may know, I may have told you this before, but 79% of all people who act in these mass killings have told other people that they were going to do it via internet or however they were going to do it. So I think that it's time now for us to understand that we have a serious mental health problem. And not only do we need to better fund mental health, we need to give our officers the tools to try and get these folks before they do anything terrible. Dylan Roof, the Town Bell shooter right here in South Carolina, both of them had signaled their intentions. So the whole 5-day loophole, that's one idea to try and fix it. But this is one that actually could have worked. And it's already out of the Senate, which is the hard part. So it's over in the House. So I'm just really hopeful that my House colleagues will help me get this bill in a form that they can live with and pass, so that if anybody threatens to shoot up any public gathering space or whatever, it doesn't have to be shooting. I didn't mean to offend NRA or anything like that. It can be any type of threat to a mass area or mass public space, then our officers would be able to take that threat seriously and detain them.
Now, I like to ask those money questions because I want the information out for the taxpayers. Where is the funding for mental health in South Carolina?
It needs to be more, I can tell you that, but I will tell you that as part of my bill, the taxpayer cost is going to be, I think, $287,000, and that would be to fund another mental health professional for those who are determined to, because we get about, I think the testimony that we had from law enforcement was about 36 of these calls a year where people are saying, this person is doing this, they're threatening or whatever. So the overall cost estimate turned out to be around $287,000, and the senators felt like that was worth it.
Worth it. You said that it should be more as far as funding for mental health. What is the funding right now currently?
It's too low, just like with nobody wants to give money to prison population either, but then they get mad when all these bad things are happening, inside the prison. But mental health, to me, I really think has been stagnant for a long time. And I think that not only does it need more money, I think we need more accountability, because if we give more money, I want to see what they're doing for that. And that's an agency, like so many others, that need to be watched to make sure that we're getting some results.
State Senator Sandy Senn, thank you for this very interesting.
Thank you. I love you guys.
But I love you too, and I gotta be tough on you sometimes.
You weren't too tough.
Oh, that was tough.
All right, guys.
Thank you.